let's talk about something so many of us have been made to feel, well, kind of bad about: crying easily. We're going to get into the science of it, and you might be surprised to find out that it's not the weakness we've all been told it is. Not even close.
I mean, come on, who hasn't heard this one? You're watching a movie, you're in a tough conversation, or maybe you're just having one of those days and someone hits you with it, you're just too sensitive. It's a comment that's designed to sting, right? To make you feel like you're just too much.
Or its close cousin, you're being too emotional. It's such a classic way to just dismiss how you're feeling, to basically say that your reaction is wrong or totally over the top. And for so long, that's how society has treated this kind of sensitivity, like it's some kind of flaw you need to fix.
But hang on a second. What if we've been looking at this completely backward? Let's just flip the script. What if being quick to cry isn't a sign that you're fragile, but a sign that your entire system is actually highly tuned and working perfectly?
Well, there's actually a scientific term for this. It's called high emotional reactivity. And this part is so important. It is not a personal failing. It's not a flaw in your character. It's a biological trait, plain and simple. It just means your nervous system has its dials turned up a bit higher when it comes to emotional stuff, whether that's a sad song or just a wave of anxiety.
So, what's going on in your brain? Well, people with this trait often have super active mirror neurons. These are the incredible brain cells that let us literally feel what someone else is feeling. It's the whole basis for empathy. So when you're tearing up watching a character go through something tough, that's your mirror neurons firing on all cylinders, creating that deep connection.
And this, right here, this is the whole reframe. Where society might slap a label on you like fragile, science sees you as responsive. What some people might call weak, the reality is you're deeply empathetic. And that idea of being unstable? No way! It's actually a sign of being emotionally honest. You're not bottling things up. You're letting your genuine feelings show.
Okay, so that brings up a pretty big question, right? If this is all just a normal part of our biology, what's the deal with the actual tears? Why do we have this physical reaction? What is the point of crying?
Think of it like a safety valve for your whole system, a protective reset. First, all that emotional energy, stress, sadness, even intense happiness, it builds up until you hit an overload point. Then the crying happens, and that's the physical release. It lets all that pent-up energy out. And finally, after that release, your nervous system gets to reset, bringing you back to a state of calm.
And let me be clear, this reset mechanism isn't just a nice little feature, it's absolutely crucial. It's what protects you from total emotional burnout. Because the only other option is an emotional shutdown, where you just go numb and stop feeling things. So you see, crying isn't the breakdown. It's the very thing that prevents the breakdown. So let's just put this all together. The next time you feel those tears coming, I want you to remember what's really going on. Your tears are a sign of a highly responsive nervous system. They're a sign of high empathy, of healthy emotional expression. They show that your protective reset mechanism is working and that you have incredible emotional honesty. Every single one of those is a strength.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What if you stopped seeing your sensitivity as some kind of weakness you have to manage? What if you started seeing it for what the science says it is? A finely tuned instrument that lets you experience the world with more depth, more empathy, and more honesty. What if it's actually your superpower?